It's time for Around the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by the Butterfly Palace. Have the best day ever at the Butterfly Palace. Springfield Greene County Park Board, reminding you to go play. Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service. Call Southwest Missouri's best plumber today for a free estimate. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey, good morning to you. It is Monday, and it is a glorious Monday for a lot of folks around here in Chiefs Kingdom.
It's exciting. It's exciting. Yeah. You know, they had some naysayers and look where we are now. It's exciting. Surely, you know by now, even if you're not a fan, I feel like even if you're not a fan, you know this much. The Chiefs pulled it out last night. They were headed back to Super Bowl to defend their title. They beat the Baltimore Ravens at Baltimore yesterday in the AFC Championship game, 17-10. The Ravens gave up 2 turnovers in the end zone. That was painful to watch for them. I mean, I'm going for the Chiefs, but still you're like, oh my gosh. Anyway, this is the Chiefs' 4th trip to the big game in the last 5 years. They won in 2020 and then last year. So they will play in Super Bowl 58 after all in Las Vegas on February 11th, which
it is exciting.
Is later than I thought, because it's typically, am I right about that? It's typically the first weekend of February, and it's not this time. I was thrown off. Remember how I kept asking you the Super Bowl game? And you were like, same time every year. And I looked at it and I'm like, except for not this year, interestingly.
Yeah, it's usually pretty close to the beginning of February. But it's always 2 weeks after the games yesterday, the AFC and NFC championship games. So right on schedule.
There you go. Now to this, someone killed a bald eagle and the state is trying to figure out who it was. The Missouri Department of Conservation is asking for tips to find the shooter. The bald eagle was found dead under a tree in a field near Salem, Missouri. It had been shot by a rifle. Killing a bald eagle is a felony.
Yeah, that's no good. And that's sad too. Former bookkeeper in the Lakeway School District has pleaded guilty to stealing $34,000. She has already paid that money back, and when she was sentenced, she was given 5 years probation. Interestingly, the judge in the case suspended the original 7-year prison sentence for 52-year-old Terry Skidmore and instead gave her probation. I think the fact that she already paid back the money and admitted to it when the school asked her about it initially probably played a factor in that, but lesson learned, it sounds like. Mm-hmm. Springfield Public Schools Superintendent Granita Lathan just got a contract extension for 1 year. That will take her contract with SPS through the 26-27 school year. The vote was 4-3, so it was a tight vote. 3 members of the school board objected to the rolling 3-year contract for the superintendent, which is kind of the deal that most superintendents across the state of Missouri get. Some of the school board members were saying, maybe we should check in year after year rather than give the 3 year. But anyway, that's what that was about. Right. Meanwhile, the public will get to meet and hear from the final 3 candidates in the running to become the next president of Missouri State University. Former Utah Tech president Richard Williams will visit on February 15th. Then current MSU provost John Jasinski will meet with the public on February 27th. And University of Oregon Vice President Roger Thompson will visit town on February 29th. Each of those forums will be at 2:30 in the afternoon in the Plaster Student Union Theater. And anyone's invited if you'd like to go hear from the next president, whoever he may be out of those 3, and maybe ask a question or two.
That is interesting, isn't it? In fact, I would totally do that if I did not have a crazy busy schedule right now, but I actually think it'd be really interesting to go talk to a university president. Anyway, okay. Longtime burger joint Taylor's Drive-In. Do you know it? I know you know it, but do our listeners know it? They're closing indefinitely. 83-year-old Darlene Collins, who has owned Taylor's for 45 years, is recovering from a heart attack that she had in December. She is now considering selling the downtown Springfield business known for steak burgers. I've been to Taylor's. I think you've heard us mention Tim before, one of our former photojournalists, and that's who I went with. And also Steve Grant. Steve Grant is also a big Taylor's Drive-In fan. So
Yeah, I went over there a couple of times when back when Convoy was over by Commercial Street, and I got to talk with her, and she's such a sweet lady. So we wish her the best. And her husband passed away years ago, and she was saying it's just a tough go. She was telling me about it back before the heart attack. She had some other health issues earlier in the year. So, man, it'd be great if somebody could buy that and keep it going. It's been open.
It would
for
be.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe they're going to watch this podcast and come up with that idea and then give her a ring,
Great food over there, too. Yep. Good burgers.
Speaking of restaurants, Pappy's Place is planning a grand reopening on Friday. New owners are taking over and plan to keep Springfield's oldest restaurant running. The North Springfield Barbecue Place has been around since 1903, before my home state became a state.
That's crazy.
I know. Oklahoma, founded 1907. Man. And Pappy's
late to the party.
1903,
Yeah, they were serving barbecue over here before you guys even got it together to the west.
Listen here, sir. We were Indian Territory official, so You're jealous.
A major road construction project is getting underway across the northern part of Missouri. We've talked about this a little bit. This is a twist on it. The state of Missouri just got $93 million federal dollars from a grant to add new fencing along the interstate to keep the deer off the interstate, and also to enlarge rest stops, especially add some parking for over-the-road truck drivers. The money is on top of the $2.8 billion that the state will be spending to add a third lane to both directions of the interstate between Kansas City and St. Louis. So, man, I hope 44 is next, but I don't know that to be true. I think there's some who want 44 to be next, but I know that Interstate 70 is getting a lot of attention over the next couple of years.
Yep.
44 could use it, but you think about whenever, because eventually they will start work on 44, how much of a pain in the butt that's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. Even if 44 were more lanes,
well, that's what I mean.
Something about 44 that stresses me smooth out. I don't like.
Well, that's what I mean. They will eventually add lanes, but think about the process until they do, because right now, just on the St. Louis side of Rolla, it's a mess. If you drive there, and I haven't done it in a while, but I used to go to St. Louis a lot. It's down to you're in one lane, and at one point there,
it goes to the opposite,
and you're facing oncoming traffic on an interstate. Yeah. Big trucks. I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's congratulations to Interstate 70 for getting some work done. Missouri, meanwhile, is about to lose the second largest aluminum smelter in the country. This is not good. It's located over in southeast Missouri. Its closure will mean more than 400 workers will be out of a job. So Missouri Senator Josh Hawley is urging now the Biden administration to invoke what's called the Defense Production Act, because the closure of the plant would be, in his words, directly threatening to the national economic security of the United States, which is interesting. So the president can step in and say, no, you can't shut this down or sell it or whatever they're doing. That smelter in particular accounts for nearly 30% of all of the nation's aluminum. Wow. So it does a lot.
Okay. Yeah. This is not so good news. New statistics show that a record half of renters in these United States cannot afford housing. Half of U.S. renters in 2022 paid more than 30% of their income for rent and utilities.
Man.
So, yes.
That's not good.
Nope. All right. Now to this, the U.S. economy grew by 3.3% in the last quarter of 2023. That's down from the growth from the previous quarter. Consumer spending is the main driver of that growth. Those two stories are interesting side by side, though. You see what I mean?
Well, we're spending money. Yeah, we're spending money.
Anyway, there you go. But those are the stories. Now to this, Springfield has a new indoor cycling business. Sit and Spin Studio is now open on South Campbell, south of Sam's Club. It offers spin classes paid for per class or per monthly membership.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I think
cool.
Another similar place closed down. So I don't know. Maybe this will be different. This one will be different. So we'll see. Congratulations now to local businessman Richard Allis for being named the 2024 Springfieldian of the Year.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. That award comes from the Springfield Area Chamber of Commerce. The Navy veteran has served on the city council, and he is the Allis of Allis Acres Arnie Insurance and Business Advisors. He is also a lifelong Springfieldian. You know, it's interesting because I know the name, like I've seen the name a million times, but I've never gotten to meet him, which I feel like I've gotten to meet so many of those people who go on to do such great things for our city, and I've sat down with them, interviewed them. I need to set up an interview with him and figure out a way to use it.
Especially since he was, I think he was a 2-term city council member. Maybe that's true, but it wasn't long ago. I think it was 2019-ish when he was there.
So yeah, congrats to him. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that's it. Go Chiefs go, and have a great Monday. I think it's going to be a better day for a lot of us in the Ozarks who are big fans.
Hey, don't forget, if you want to get our podcast, make it easy for you right at your fingertips, or any of the other podcasts that we have on the Around the Ozarks platform, you can do that. Just grab yourself the Around the Ozarks app. You can also enter contests on the app. With it, you'll have access to audio versions of every podcast in one place. So it's Around the Ozarks in 5. That's us. Wake Up Weather with Abby Dyer, which is supposed to be a decent week this week. You can check with her on that. But that's what I heard. Rewind with Woody and Janet, Sports Scene with Scott Purrier, Ned Talk with Ned Reynolds, and more.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great day.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you had a fantastic weekend across the Ozarks. We had some sunshine join us on Sunday. That was a welcome change. Temperatures pretty mild, so we're heading in the right direction. But on this Monday morning, once again, we are starting with fog in the Ozarks. It's patchy across the region, but visibility dropped below 1/4 mile in spots. So slow down this morning. You might run into some areas of patchy fog. Be very aware of that. And because temperatures are below the freezing point, that does mean freezing fog in some locations where temperatures are cold enough. It means that bridges, overpasses, places could be a little bit slick. You might get some slick hand railings or something if the fog is really dense where you're at and your temperature is in the upper 20s. So be mindful of that if you're heading out the door early this morning. Patchy fog to start the week. We have had just quite a stretch of days with foggy conditions, haven't we? Several days over the weekend. Saturday, just kind of dreary, drizzly, misty. Then Sunday, we saw the skies clear up a little bit, but there was still plenty of cloud cover. We've seen the cloud cover lock in overnight, and now we're waking up with patchy fog for Monday morning. However, I think by mid-morning, it's gone. And what we can look forward to is some sunshine. It's just this morning drive that we've got to have a big heads up for. Temperatures right around 30 degrees as of 5 a.m. and we'll be warming to the mid-50s today. So a significant warm up in store. Sunshine is going to help a lot. We have freezing fog by sunrise, and then visibilities will be reduced. Again, watch for the slick spots, bridges, and overpasses. There could be a few icy areas because of the freezing fog. Slow down. Use your low beams. That's a good reminder for you. And use caution on the bridges and overpasses. Maybe just give it a few extra minutes on this Monday morning drive. Sunshine, it'll take over by 9, 10 o'clock. And then it's smooth sailing for the rest of the day. We've got high temperatures that will be very comfortable. And numbers really for the most part this week are going to be well above average. We're talking 50s, even near 60 degrees as we head closer to the middle of the week. So there will be plenty of chances to enjoy the outdoors. I think we all need it. I know I need a little bit of vitamin D here. The string of cloudy days is numbered, and we are likely going to see several days of sunny skies, and that is going to make for much nicer weather conditions. This should hold through the first week of February. In fact, the extended outlook looks fairly warm for our part of the country. Us, the Great Lakes, the upper Midwest, all expecting well above average temperatures, and precip chances are looking close to normal. Our next best chance for rain, by the way, is likely going to return by the weekend. So we've got several dry days to enjoy this week. We can get out, get our yard work done, take care of anything that we were putting off when the bitter cold was set in place. Really, though, this week, after we get past the freezing fog this morning, doesn't get much better than this. High temperature, I have 54 for the afternoon high in Springfield today. It may be closer to 57 in northern Arkansas. Low temperatures tonight will then fall back into the mid-30s, so not even to the freezing point. And then we will start Tuesday morning below freezing. I am expecting that we see numbers in the 50s. Again, Tuesday slightly cooler with a high about 51. And then we're going to see numbers warm up big time by Thursday and Friday. We could be pushing 60 degrees in the Ozarks, and there's a mostly sunny stretch of days through this time period. So really, really good news here on Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather to start off the new week. Around the country, we're starting to see the pattern quiet down a bit today as well for much of the country. That's true for New England that had some icy weather over the weekend. We also have some precipitation today for the lower Great Lakes and New England. However, it's not going to be a whole lot. It's kind of wrapping up and getting out of here. And then we have precip chances ramping up for the West Coast into Tuesday. In fact, there may be some heavy rain once again heading for Oregon and California. That happens later this week, while the rest of the country is enjoying some quieter weather conditions. All right, here's a look at the brain twister question. This is the one that I left you with yesterday. And for many of you, this may be a no-brainer. What is the most popular Girl Scout cookie in the country? The options that I gave you were A, Samoas, B, Tagalongs, C, Thin Mints, or D, Lemon Ups. These happen to be, by the way, the options that I'm giving you are the four that were on my order, one of which is the most popular in the country, which is C, Thin Mints. If you guessed C on aroundtheozarks.com, congratulations. You are now entered into a poll to win a $20 gift card to Scooter's Coffee. We give that away every single day, Monday through Friday here on Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. So big thank you to Scooters for providing that sponsorship. And why not play? It's free to enter and a pretty big prize. Thin Mints are the most popular Girl Scout cookie, and they hold that spot again last year. Just in 2021, the Thin Mint alone, the entire program, the Girl Scouts cookie program, nearly $6.5 million. And according to the Girl Scouts website, Thin Mints is the highest selling flavor year after year, followed by Samoas. Those are also my two favorites. But like I said, we added the Tagalongs, we added the Lemon Ups, and those are good choices too. All right, here's your answer or your question, your brain teaser question that I will leave you with for tomorrow. What team won the very first Super Bowl? I know a lot of you were watching that championship game yesterday. The Chiefs headed to the Super Bowl again. Who do you think won the very first Super Bowl ever? Do you think it was A, the Kansas City Chiefs, B, the Green Bay Packers, C, the New York Jets, or D, the Baltimore Colts? You can enter your guess. No Googling. That takes all the fun out of it. Do it over at aroundtheozarks.com. Again, the prize, $20 to Scooter's Coffee. Thank you so much to Scooters and our other sponsor, Rescue Towing. On Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather today, it is going to be a great day once we can get rid of the fog. Again, high temperature of 54 degrees. There could be a few slick spots this morning. Watch the visibility. Overall, though, a sunny week, and we have you covered up to the minute all day long on aroundtheozarks.com. If you need weather information, head on over to the website. And don't forget, wherever you listen to your podcast, to give us a review if you like what you hear. Leave a review for us. I really would appreciate it. I certainly appreciate you listening. I hope you have a fantastic Monday, and I will be back to chat with you again on Tuesday morning.